Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our discussion with our mystery guest, our anonymous guest last week. The guest has an excellent way of putting the data to where it makes complete and perfect sense, kind of like some of the videos that we've done before. I did have a couple of suggestions. I want to thank everybody when they do email me, and when you make the suggestions, it makes it easier for me to come up with topics. I personally like these kinds of channels where it's just someone that's coming to the a platform from their living room or their guest bedroom, or somewhere that's something real where they're not trying to make it look like a news desk or something. Everything that I've talked about on this platform has been from personal experience. Very little of this has been researched with other people's material. I think I'm going to start using some to keep the conversation going since some of you have come back. Again, I appreciate it because there's so much content with so many people out there. If you have a camera and an internet connection, then you have a channel if you want one. But hopefully my take on the situation is something that lends some value to your to what you need. Hopefully it adds to it. I don't ask for any money. I'm not a life coach. I would never, I don't try to sell you a coffee cup or a t-shirt or any of that stuff. This is not how I make my living. This is what I give back because my life is literally like night and day from what it used to be like. It was terrible. It was just I can't even tell you. Before I start, the two topics that I'm going to discuss is I'm going to discuss the apath, or the person that displays apathy. It's a suggestion that I haven't quite looked into yet, but I think it's a very, very important topic. Narcopaths, or the egopaths, do seem to have an apathetic, well, at least toward everyone else. They seem to have apathy toward everyone else. I need to look up the word too, and I think it would behoove us to actually, what is this? What's the meaning of this word? So, apathy, apath, or apathetic apathy. The other one is to expound on the poisoning, the attempted murder of my life. It blows my mind that anybody would do that, and that I was I was that guy that someone tried to kill. Narcopaths are dangerous. They are more dangerous than you know. They're capable of very dark and deceptive actions. So, with that being said, secrets that narcopaths don't want you to know. They need you more than you need them, and that's why they always have backup supply. There's always somebody waiting around. They have these, I guess, in the orbiters sometimes. They have a hard time being alone. If you're like me, I like being alone. I like my friends. I love my family, but I enjoy my times alone. Narcopath can't be alone. The second one is they are envious of all things you are and have that they don't. In a previous video, this has been maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It was that the narcissist doesn't clap when you win. If you watch, they're silently celebrating your defeats. Everybody has success and failures in your life. I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. When something, I'm a hard worker, okay, and I have been my whole life. I've done a lot of things. It's what I want to do. I go do it. I don't leave that in my bucket list. Anything. So if there was some endeavor that I was successful at, I noticed that the people around me, they not only didn't they not care, but they seemed to be envious. They wouldn't support. There was no support for the people that were around me for these endeavors that I think were successful. And now I understand that, and now I can revisit them, and I can have that in my repertoire, if you will, or my own personal resume about what I've done and where I've been and the accomplishments that I've made. But they didn't seem to have the same disposition that I did about that. And they did seem to celebrate the failures. They want you to fail. What's really sick about this is that when you trust the narcopath, this person that's your spouse or your mother or your father, and you're going to them for advice and support. And if you're like me, I think I take advice from the people around me. I don't always think that I'm always right. I want to sound off with someone to check where I'm going. Anyway, so I would get bad advice, and when I look back at all the things, the bad decisions that I made that were reinforced by the narcissist around. I'm not saying that my decisions were somebody else's because they're mine. Your decisions are yours. But when you're sounding off to somebody that's close to you and they're giving you messed up advice and telling you, yeah, I think you should do it this way or that way. I started to notice when one of them, there was some, again, this isn't some business deals where and I'm not like some multimillionaire or anything, but you have to have business, you have to eat, right? So I would do something one way, and then the narcopath would say that I needed to do it the other way. Well, I started to take note of this, and then when the situation was reversed, they again told me the exact opposite thing. I said, well, whatever's going on, you seem to want to change the playing field and set the goalpost somewhere else every single time. So anyway, they're envious of what you have, envious of what you have. They're afraid that if you knew how great you are, you wouldn't stay with them. And this is the absolute 100% truth. Since everything that a narcopath does is smoke and mirrors, it's phony, it's fake, it's lies, it's gaslighting, everything that they do, they, excuse me, let me make sure I'm on the right track here. Sorry. That if they knew how great you are, and you probably are. If you're one of the people who's been abused by, let's put it this way, a burglar doesn't break into a vacant home, right, or vacant house. Okay, so they're breaking in on your territory, breaking in on your life, and they're like parasites, right? If you knew how great you were, you wouldn't be with them. So, which goes back to me telling you that when I started to wake up. And I started asking this person, again, it's not a marriage. I said, I'm going to ask for some things, and not even anything big, just little things. The discomfort level became really intense towards the end before the final discard. It became really intense when I would ask for the smallest thing to see, am I going to get anything back on this? This is also when I realized it doesn't matter how you act. It doesn't matter what you do. Stop placating the narcopath because they're going to continue their line of behavior anyway. So during the discard, during the court, during all the BS, during this divorce, which was really the best thing that's ever happened to me, during that, initially I continued to act and behave in the same way. I was trying to please them. I was trying to be fair. This overdeveloped sense of fair play that I had. This is your family. These are the people that you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for, right? And in a normal situation, I still think that you sacrifice your time and you sacrifice things that you want so that you can take care of them as well. But you can't do this with the narcopath. You can't do this with egopaths because they're a black hole. They're a bottomless pit of want and a bottomless pit of need. It doesn't matter what you do. So when I stopped playing that game, man, that changed. And for some reason, I caught on to it pretty quick. And I made some videos about that you can go back and look. What's called, I have to bring it up. I still keep it on there because it's got like 350,000 views. But it was a how to win at narcissism. And it's like, okay, you don't want to win at narcissism. It really should be how to win at narcissism. It really should be how to beat the narcissist at their own game. Sometimes you have to do the wrong things for the right reasons, and that applies here. So anyway, the narcopath is extremely insecure, which we're already kind of visited that because they don't have any talents or anything of their own. They have to feed on their people. Have you ever noticed too? They're the ones that talk about my team, our team, whatever city they live in. For some reason, we won the Super Bowl or some shit like that. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You ate chips, you drank beer, maybe, I don't know, but the we, they attach themselves to successful people. Anyway, they don't break into the the narcissist doesn't break into an empty person. You have a lot to offer, and they don't want you. They want to keep you all to themselves. I can tell you that. Insecure, they're all that fake confidence. Anyway, they're not amazing people. Probably like a lot of people that are visiting these channels. I will get to those other two topics. I want to tell y'all, I thank you all for coming back and visiting with me. It means a lot. The channel on this platform has been around for over 8 years. It was just a bit prior to 8 years when I saw the opportunity and regained custody of, I'm just going to say this, I'm going to say it, my son. And everything was different after that. Excuse me. So with that, with that being said, from the 8 years until now, things are completely different. I say one, realize who you're dealing with when you've started dealing with a narcopath, with an egopath. Number two, when you wake up, don't just sit there. If you can't go no contact, don't worry about it just yet. You will be able to. If you're in the middle of a fight, you can't just go no contact. You're going to have to go gray rock, or you're going to have to go, just partial contact. Talk through the lawyers if you have to. Come back to these channels. There's a lot of us who have been through this. I hope that this doesn't get stale too. Some of the material I'm going to pull up, hopefully for next weekend. Actually, I'm going to try to cover those two topics for next Saturday as well. In the meantime, there's a couple of books that I read. One of them was called The Wizard of Oz and Other Narcissists. I'll have to get who wrote that. It's an excellent, excellent read. Take a look at that too. There are some big channels out there that talk about this. Les Carter has really become my favorite. He's really good. All right. I don't know that if it's as hard for other people to make videos as it is for me. I have to start and stop more than I want to. I know I hem and haw sometimes. Cut me some slack. I'm self-censoring almost all the way through. Trust me, there's things that I know about that I would love to talk about on here, but I know they'll nix my channel. So with that being said, I want to thank you all again for joining me, and I hope to see you all again real soon. Thanks.